Lynda Denton, and I've been attending Tiffany Fellowship Church for almost 16 years. 7 years ago, I decided to go through the motions of water baptism. I was sprinkled as a baby, so I felt this was important to do. My problem is I didn't like crowds, and I don't like to do things in front of people, but I forced myself into doing it. So I went in, the pastor put me under, brought me up, and I went back to my seat. All is good. But what actually happened, I sat there and I asked kept asking my husband, how long was I under? And he goes, well, just a couple of seconds. And I go, no, I wasn't. So what happened was when I went down, when the pastor put me down under the water, I was actually, all of a sudden I was in a warm, like a warm pool of water. It was really warm, it was beautiful. There's not words to describe it. And I was swimming in this nice warm water, it just felt great. And I saw this man on a rock over, and so I started going towards him. And it was Jesus, and I was so glad to see him. I mean, I felt love, it just felt really nice. And we smiled at each other, and then he played what was almost like a movie scene of everything that I did in my life that was wrong. Every sin I committed, from no matter how small it was to how big it was. And it was hard to watch. But I watched it and I felt so much shame, and I just put my head down. I mean, I had my head down and I was so sorry. And I said to Jesus, I said, how can you ever forgive me? Just please forgive me for this. I'm really sorry. And he smiled at me, and it was like he took his hands, and it was like he's making a big ball of all my sins, and then he just flung them, and he said, they're gone, you're forgiven. And it was just, it felt so good. It just felt so good. And when I was brought up out of the water, I had this, I didn't want to come up. It was great. I felt like I wanted to stay down there. And when I was brought up, I looked at the pastor because I was so confused at where I was. I was totally lost. Okay, what's happened here? And when I went back to my seat, I just was so bewildered. I kept asking my husband, how long was I under? How long was I under? I've never shared this story publicly. I have shared it privately to people, but I felt compelled to share it in front of everyone when Pastor Barry was talking about baptism. There's no guarantee that you'll have the same experience as I did, but I hope this inspires some of you to come forward to be baptized.